Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the pre-market analysis and trade plan set up for Monday, July the 28th, 2014. My name is Doug McKay. For those that are new, I am the founder and the head moderator of Quantum Leap. Quantum Leap is not a commercial venture. It is a private group of retail traders that get together in a private Skype room to talk about trading, talk about market observation and setups and anything else we can find that's interesting. If you're interested in checking it out, you can send me a contact request. You will need a Skype account, but it is free. And send me a request. I'll be Doug_McKay. I'll be the one from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. There's about 300 of them that pop up, and I'll be the one from that little nowhere place in just north of Detroit or south of Detroit. Also, if you want, you can send me an email to d.mckay@stealthtrader.com. The website is being worked on as we speak. Hopefully, we'll have that done by the end of next month. Each morning we come together in this live session to take a look at the macro to the micro. We do go through a normal routine of looking at the key numbers and the trends within the different time frames before we get into more in-depth analysis. But before I do anything, I've got to get the legals out of the way. Just a couple announcements. Just remember that tomorrow morning I will do the last live session of the week. I'm heading up to the cottage tomorrow on the train. So tomorrow will be the last pre-market session for this week until I get back the following Monday. So getting the legals done, this information is for the purpose of educating members who want to expand knowledge in business trading. It's not for trading or investment advice. You and only you are responsible for trades or investment decisions to make. Trading futures or any instrument involves risk. Last, please consider carefully whether features or options are appropriate to your financial situation. Whether risk capital should be used when trading futures or options. Investors could lose more than their initial investment. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organizing environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own plan, your own due diligence. Okay, so let's go right into the key numbers, and then I've got some interesting things I want to go over. So right now, of course, the big number above us is that 1985.75, the all-time high. Below us, we've got the 1954.50 as our month open, and our month low is all the way down there at 1942.50. But there's some interesting things going on with the micro composites I want to go through, things that make you go, we opened Friday in the Globex session at 78.75, had a high at 80.75 and a low at 75.25. We opened auction out of range at 75.75, had a normal variation with a 4.25 point opening swing, had a pretty rotational day. And the initial balance high, 77.50, the initial balance low, 72.50 for a 5 point. And again, there's, we've been averaging these 5.25 point initial balances the last week. All the intraday numbers were lower. Our 12:30 number, all numbers in here are central, 72.25. Our RTH high, 77.50, our RTH low, 68, and then we closed at 71. And our VPOC is 1971.75. And this number you want to write down, 71.75, 71.25. And that's one of the things I'm going to talk about in a minute. Looking at our ranges right now, our 20-day ATR range on the RTH, just over 10.5. Our full session 20-day ATR just under 14, and our Globex 20-day is 850. Value area high was lower at 74.75. Value area low was lower at 70.25. And then we broke the IB at 10:01 Central to the low side. And we did it on a little bit higher volume than what we've been seeing the last few days. Going over to the daily report, our pivot for the day is 73, but the one I'm looking at is the weekly pivot here, basically at that 1971.75. Daily resistance is up at 78.25. Support is 1965.50. Our 20-day ATR targets right now with the full session high being at 73.25 and the full session low at 66.50. Excuse me. Our 20-day ATR target to the upside is 80.25, and to the low side is 59.25. Excuse me for 1 second. And the news today, we've got Flash Services PMI at 8:45 Central, 9:45 Eastern, and then we've got pending home sales, and that's really going to be the big one for the day. So at 9 Central, 10 Eastern. So be careful in that first half hour of trading today. So let's go and take a look at the COT report, see what it gave us on Friday. This is the ES, this red line, this line right here, I think it's yellow, is the small spec. The darker line right here, that's the large spec, and then the lighter line here is the commercial. Commercial is still net short and gotten even more net short through the course of last report, but the large spec is now slightly net positive, just sitting above the zero line, and of course the small spec has gotten more net positive. So there's still some repair to do above us. So I'm not fully convinced that we're in a bigger correction yet, and I'll show you why when we get to the composite chart. But let's jump over and just take a look at the trend, macro to the micro, make sure we know where we are within the different time frames. You can see in the monthly, the trend is very much intact. Good slope, good separation, prices paralleling the 9 EMA quite nicely. On the weekly, same thing on the weekly. We came down 2 weeks ago and tested the 9 EMA, and then we popped back up, and the trend continues with good slope and good separation. On the daily, same thing. We've got this head and shoulder pattern that's it shows better on the 30-minute, but we still haven't hit that measured move, and we still haven't invalidated it by breaking the right shoulder. So right now, this pattern is still valid and still has a measured move, depending on where you measure the what do you call it, the neckline, either at 92.25 or 98. But you can see we still have not violated violated the trend as well. The trend is still, we're getting into a little bit of a consolidation period, but we haven't gotten into a downward trend right now on the daily. Taking a look at the charts, I swear to you, I tried to find a decent looking downward sloping fork, and I couldn't find one that fit. I don't like to have my my A point below the B point or C point, so I tried to go down in a lower time frame. Still difficult. I don't get anything with good frequency. So for me, I still have to look at the fact that we've still got this energy point up here at the 2000s. I don't think they're going to let it go that easy. We did get some weakness, and we rejected the center line of the shorter upward sloping fork and didn't get back over it. Again, that was one of the things that we were looking for on Friday, so we did get some weakness. We're trading in this lower channel of the fork. A test of the center line again today would bring us up to 1983, 1984 area, and a test, if we see some more weakness coming in, will bring us down into this 1955, 56 area. I'm expecting a pretty choppy day today, and there's a couple lines that are going to define where we're going. Let's go over and take a look at the trend intraday going into the RTH session. You see we were starting to get a bit of a downwards trend here, but we've come up and closed this technical gap right here, and we're currently trading above the 9 EMA. So we really got sideways consolidation and no real trend showing on the 4 hour. On the 30-minute, we had consolidation, and we've now had a move up to this 1974. So right now it looks like they're accepting that 71 and a quarter level, and they're going to try to move this up and grind this up. We'll see what happens. Actually, that gives us a new overnight high too at 74 and a quarter. 74.50. So I'll have to make an adjustment on that ATR target to the downside in a minute. Just going to give it a few minutes to settle out here. But you can see that in the 30-minute we've got consolidation and they're holding both the moving averages. Going down to the 5-minute, we do have a start of a trend. We have created a technical gap right here. A gap close is likely to bring us back into that 71.75 area, 72.50 area. But we do have the start of a trend on the 5-minute, but we need to close this technical gap first. All right, so what I want to do is let's go take a look at the big picture. First of all, let's do this. I'm going to bring up Friday's chart. Just to, Friday we opened up auction outside a range. We were watching this 1975 area. That was the range high, and it's been that value area high for the microcomposite, in that larger time frame. And then we were looking at the 1970, that CLVN, and with targets just below at 68. We went down to the tick and hit that 68, 67, 75 was the actual number I was looking for. But we just basically chopped around in this area down here and accepted value around this 1971.75. The reason I wanted to show you this is when we go to the big picture, so right now, from the first of the month, okay, to the to Friday, the monthly volume point of control. Let me just bring this to the front so you can see it. Wrong one. There we go. Has shifted now. It was down at 67.75 area. It's now shifted up to 71 and a quarter. Now, we were talking about this on Friday, that the overall, from where we gapped up and that May 27th, the overall microcomposite, or the most accepted or most traded price, was down here at 1952.75. But when you bring the last 3 days into this, you can see that value is now shifted higher. Remember, we talked about this a few weeks ago when we had the same thing happen when that value shifted from that 42.75 up to 52.75, and we said we were accepting value higher, and therefore we were likely to get continuation to go up and make new all-time highs, which we did. Now you've got a very similar situation where just in the last 3 days, actually just in the last, on Friday, I'll take Friday out, and you'll see this. Wrong one, sorry. Sometimes it's hard to move the right lines. So if I take Friday out, okay, it shifts back down to 1952.75. So, we have to ask ourselves, okay, were the sellers stepping in and trying to cap us here at 71 and a quarter, or are we accepting price higher at 71 and a quarter and likely now to push higher? My bias is that we're accepting value higher, because it's a very similar situation that we saw when we had that shift up to 53.75 or 52.75 and then a move up. So I'm looking at, but the good thing is we don't have to, have a bias, because all we have to do is trade the levels around it. We've already seen that we've come up and we're accepting it and we're trading higher so far. So basically, what I'll be looking at is the CLVN just below it at 1970 and using that as a major guide today. Because if we get below that, the microcomposite VPOC from July 1st until Friday was down at that 67.75. So you got a really nice move down here. If they can't hold it, and it is the sellers that are showing up here, okay, then you got a nice move, for a trade down to the 67 and this naked close down here at 66.50 with a possible move down to 64.25 with 62 just below it. And then, below 62, then I think we've got some serious weakness coming in, and we could get that move back down to that 52.75, 53 area and get the shift, the microcomposite to shift back down. Very similar to what just happened with gold over the last course of the week when we had that 13.15.80 shift up, and then the market couldn't hold it, and it went down and shifted the VPOC down to the 1293, 1294 area. So let's take a look at the overnight and start moving our numbers over. So currently we have an overnight high up here at 74.50, and that's basically just below, that's just below the value area high. Our overnight low is down at 66.50, right at that naked close down there, and then currently I don't think we're going to shift up. We have the Globex VPOC here at 69.50, and that's just below the value area low. And I don't think we're going to get any shift. There's no major CLVNs. There's LVN. There's an LVN here at 1970.25. The only reason I'd pay attention to it right now would be the fact that it's also the CLVN below that 71.25. There's another one right here at 73.25. But inside here, we're going to open up inside of value and inside a range. So I'm expecting two-sided trading coming in this morning. But the key level that we want to hold is the value area low and the CLVN here at 1970. So that is going to be a major trade area that you're going to want to make decisions off of. Inside of this, we really don't have any serious resistance until we get up to that 75.75 right at the close. But I'd be looking for them to come up and take out this overnight high at 74.75. Possibly see a responsive buyer step in. So this would be a target as well as a area to enter. But really, in between here, you've got the naked VPOC at 71.75, you've got the microcomposite VPOC at 71.25, and you've got the naked close at 71. There's no edge right here. So I either have to take a short or long with how they print this area at 74.75, and either get short with the responsive seller stepping in into the naked close and naked VPOC, and a move down for a destination trade down here, the 80% value area destination trade, to test that 70 again. Or if they break out, then I look for them to go and go up and test the value area high from the microcomposite from July 1st till now. That's still that 75, 75, 76 area. It's also the open from Friday. So I'd be looking to get long with the first target here at 75, 75, with the break above 74, 75, with possible continuation and a move to go up and test that 76, 75 CLVN. But I think if they get above that 75, 75, I think they're going to go and try to get us back into price discovery. So I'd be looking for a breakout up here at 77.50, and I'll be using that as, not a target. It's going to be a target, but it's also going to be a trade area. And then if we can get outside of range and outside of value, You know, the big area above is the 79.25. That is the value area high of the microcomposite that goes all the way back to that May 27th. And then if, you know, if we get above that, then that clearly puts us back into price discovery, and I think we're going to go and take out the naked close at 80.50, the where they tried to hold value at 81.75, the naked microcomposite VPOC, where they tried to hold value after making the all-time high. You got naked close up here at 82, and of course the big number is that 85.75, and put us back into clearly price discovery with targets at 92.25 and 98 from that inverted head and shoulders. And of course you've got a major number here up here at 2,000. Here's the centennial number. And then if we get into the 2000s, I'm looking for a rule of 10. But I think that's going to be a big move. I think any move to the upside today is going to be a slow grind up with a lot of rotation. Of course, if we reject this this value area high and we rotate back through, the first target inside of value and inside a range is going to be the 71.75, and a move back into the current balance around the 71.25 with a test and a move down towards the 70.25. But there's no edge in here, so what are you going to do? You know, if you do anything, you've got to have your stop above 74.75 if you get short, or if you get long, you have to have your stop below 70.25. So if you've got that type of risk, parameters, then you can try to flip a coin and find out where it's going to go. But this is going to be dangerous trading inside of this range right here. Below the 70.25, like I said, you've got a really nice trade setup into the 67.75, where that monthly microcomposite VPOC is, and a test of the range low down here at the 67.75, 68 area. And then same thing, if we break outside of value and outside of range, then you've got a move down to the overnight low and that naked close at 66.75 as your first target outside of range and outside of value. And then there's really not much there until you get down to that 64.25, 63.75, and it would, I'd front run this, and my first target below is going to be that 64.25, with 62, the other side of balance, just below it. And then if we get a bigger move and we see weakness coming in, we break below the 62, you got a clear shot down to that 59 area again. See how that 59 keeps coming in? 59, it was something that we were looking on the way up. Now we're looking at it on the way down, with the other side of that balance being 57.75. Sorry, 57.25. And then really, if we break this level, it's all about the 52.75 again. You've got the naked close here at 54, but I think we get below there, we see weakness. There's nothing stopping us this time until we get to 52.75. That's my own personal opinion. I'll trade what I see, but I'll be looking for shorts. Anything below that 57.25. Really, you can start looking short, with the break below 70, because you've got some nice targets below. Anyway, I'm not expecting any big move like that today, but if we did get down there, you've got the other side of balance there at 51, and then of course below 51 you get the 47.75 and the 42.75. Just below that 43.25 naked VPOC. So that's what I'm looking at on the ES. Going over to the Russell, and I put the Russell stuff in already, so you can go and read what I had to say. But basically, it's setting up. I mean, 2 weeks ago, I posted a similar chart laying out what I thought about the Russell and these three distribution zones, the two upper distribution and the bottom accumulation. And you can see that the key number has not changed. It's still that 1136.80, because below 1136.80 we get into the distribution in the value area in around that 1116.40 and 1120. Remember, 1116.40 is the composite VPOC going back to October the 10th, 2013. And then just above us, we've got the value area low from the upper distribution with the microcomposite VPOC in around that 1168. You can see we've got this overlapping value of these two distribution zones. And we're currently stuck in this area in between these two areas. So, you're trading in around the 44 area right now. So let's go over and take a look at it on a more micro level and bring up the overnight and the intraday. So right now we're above value at 42.40 and inside a range. So your trade level here is going to be obviously your value area high at 42 and a quarter and the 44.70. Okay, range high from Friday. Okay, above the your overnight VPOC is down here at 1140, which is basically right in line with the naked VPOC down here. So you've got 1140.10 and 1140.20, your two balance areas. And then below that, you've got that 39 value area low. All right, and then our range low overnight is a test of that 3660 area, which is the exact low from the prior night, and right there at that key line in the sand. We've gone down there multiple times, and the buyers have stepped in and held us up. If we come down here and we break back into that 1136, don't even think about it. Just hit that sell button. Just make sure that we break it. Don't just jump into it or try to front run it. But if we go down there and hold below that 3680 and outside a range below 3660, you've got a really nice trade with your first target being that 1133 area, 1132.80. Come on. Okay, with the first support, you got 1130, 1130.60 CHVN, and then the naked close down here at 1128.90, but I'd be watching this 1126.70, and that's going to be the next big key number below us, because anything below 1126.75, we had that low that we put in the Globex last week. I think it was Thursday we put it in, or Wednesday, down there at 1123.80. I don't think that holds. I think we come all the way down into this 1120 and 1116.40 area. And this is a major area down here, because that's the 1116.40 is the composite VPOC as well as the microcomposite VPOC for that accumulation zone. And 1120 was the composite before it got adjusted down to 1116.40 with the September contract. But I'm just grouping these two together, because I think once we get back into this area, then we're going to be seeing a lot of chop in that distribution. Why can't I? All right, doesn't want to give me 4 for some reason today. Oh, there we go. And then, of course, we've got this blunt area down here on the composite that I think we're going to be chopping in around in this area. But those are the areas that I'd be watching on the Russell today. And if we get above, we could get a move up to this 1150 area. today, just slowly grinding up. And that 1150.30 is the microcomposite value area low of the distribution. And above that, we've got a couple nice targets at 52.60, I believe, and 54.50 to the upside. Going over to, but you can read it all in the hypothesis that I posted earlier as reference. Going over and taking a look at gold. I mentioned this earlier, we had shifted the composite. Now this composite goes all the way back to 10/24/2008. And back on this day right here, we shifted from this 1293 area up to the 1315.80, and we were holding value higher, and then we came down a couple times to this 1293 area, and we got the shift on Friday, on Friday we got the shift down, which we were expecting to see if those buyers would step in at that level again, and they have stepped in that level. So inside of the larger microcomposite that has the VPOC at 1315.80, in this smaller balance area, we're accepting price here at 1307, and so far they're holding us above it. I still think the trade zone is 1305, 1306 area. I'd go 1305 because 1305 will likely give you a move up to 1307.30 and give you a chance to get in and fund it for the bigger move up towards that 1315.80. Gold's been very good for us lately. And then, if we fail to hold that 1305, then, they'll probably come down and drift down towards this 1300, if not all the way down to this 1293. And this is a trade that you'll want to get in on. If you want the safe trade, wait for the break to the lower side below that 1300, get in, get funded before the 1298 with the continuation, probability down here to the 1293 area again. To wait for the safe trade to the upside, wait for a clear break above 1305.30 and get in and get funded before you get to 1307.30 with the probability continuation up to this 1315.80. And then if we can get up here, hold, and get the shift again up here, then they'll be looking for a continuation and a move back up to test that, that 1328, 1329 level again. Anyway, that's what I'm looking at on gold, and that is going to complete our morning pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.